All right, join us now on Inside TBT, head basketball coach at Cincinnati, Coach Wes Miller. Coach, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, fellas. Glad to be here.
Absolutely, Coach. We're excited to have you on. We're excited to ask you some questions maybe you're not used to answering. And we'll start it right off with, we're here to talk about TBT. What do you know about the basketball tournament?
I've actually really enjoyed following it. It's been great. I'm a basketball junkie, and so in the summer when there's not basketball on TV, I've really enjoyed it. It kind of helped me get through a couple weeks of the pandemic. But that's probably one of my better memories. And I was at UNCG for 10 years, and gosh, years run together. Maybe 3 summers ago, there was a regional in Greensboro, and Kyle Hines, who was one of the great players at UNCG, had a team. Chris Paul had a team with some of our former players at Greensboro were playing on that team, and they were both there. So, yeah, we took our team over there and watched the games. And so, listen, I've watched it on TV. I've watched it live. It's a great thing for basketball. And I think it's a great thing for college basketball because you're seeing, guys that were a part of college basketball programs come together and kind of keep that nostalgia alive, and engage fan bases and things of that nature. So, great thing for basketball, great thing for college basketball.
Absolutely. We've heard from – are you there? Sorry, darn Zoom.
Yeah, I lost you guys for a second. Yeah, go ahead.
But, we've heard from a fair amount of coaches, their thoughts on it as a whole. But why do you feel like it's important for Cincinnati to have a team in TBT?
Well, I knew this when I accepted the job here a year ago, and it's only been reinforced over the last 12 months. But, this is one of the greatest programs in the history of college basketball. We have one of the best fan bases in all of college basketball, and not just the long – and there's a long history of basketball success here. But when you're talking about the TBT, you're kind of talking about a short history because it's got to be guys that can still play. And if you look at the decade or so of Bearcat basketball, it's just been phenomenal. And so many of those guys are having great professional careers. So just like on a number of levels, like we're trying to make sure we really do a great job as a staff and as a program engaging our former players and celebrating our history. And so we're looking to do that in so many different ways. This is another way, right? It's just to have, especially a regional is going to be here in Cincinnati, to put a team together of guys that our fans are going to love to see playing together. We can interact with them as a program because, again, it's right here, get them back on campus. It's just a win-win in so many different ways, but it just makes sense. Like if college-type teams are forming TBT teams, Cincinnati needs to be one of them.
You mentioned Cincinnati hosting a regional. Obviously, you can't talk about Cincinnati basketball without Xavier basketball. And the TBT, they're like puppeteers, right? We're making these opponents that we want to see play each other, whether it takes one win or it's in the opening round. So that being said, a Musketeer versus Bearcat matchup is inevitable. I'm assuming this is a layup question for you, but is that something you want to see?
Well, the crosstown shootout, like I've learned this again. I knew about it. Everybody knows about the crosstown shootout across the country. But it's so intense and so important to the community here in Cincinnati. It's not just a game. Like it's like a week. It's a week event, right? And it's an event for this community to celebrate college basketball. So it's really a unique and special thing. And so to be able to to dive into that or tap into that in the summer with the TBT, it only makes sense, guys. And I think the community here will embrace that for sure.
We'll do our part to help make sure it happens. The players obviously got to do their part by winning some games. It will not be a first round matchup if I had to predict it. A lot of guys are committed to playing, but are there any guys that are uncommitted that you kind of want to fire them up and say, hey, get on that team this summer?
Well, I think I try to have some perspective here. You're playing a lot of guys are playing professionally overseas, and it's a long year playing in the G League. It's a long year. And so I don't want to put pressure on anybody to play. What I want to put pressure on is for guys to be back during that time, and at least support the team. If guys want to play or not, to me, that's on them, and that's a personal decision. Of course, the more guys that play, the more we'll celebrate that and be excited about that. But we'll understand if certain guys don't want to play. We want everybody to kind of rally around and get back around that time and come back into town and support that team. But yeah, there's a couple names that, I think would be really impactful on that team. I'm looking at the guys that have already committed and had some conversations with them. And so it'd be nice to see that, but certainly no pressure from my standpoint, man. We're going to celebrate all our former guys and support them with whatever decision they make.
Do you look at having a team as a coach who's newer to Cincinnati like yourself? Do you look at this TBT team as just an unbelievable benefit to be able to open that door into the alumni, and whether it's players that can't suit up for TBT or guys who are 5 years out and are the stars on the team? Do you look at it as just an incredible way to make sure everybody gets together?
I do. And like we've tried to find as many ways as possible in the year that we've been here to like I've said, like build a bridge to our former players and welcome our former players back. And this is just a great tool to do that, so it's something that's going to really help our program as well.
So there have been rumors in the past of current coaches coaching, their school's TBT teams. Is that door open for you, or are you a little too busy to add that to your schedule?
It's funny. Last summer when it was going on, we have so many guys that we coached at Greensboro. I was the head coach at UNC Greensboro for 10 years. And we have so many guys that are now playing overseas and having great careers. And like 4 or 5 of those guys hit me up over FaceTime. We're like, we need to put a team together and you need to coach it. And maybe this was 2 summers ago, because I was here last summer, but I was chuckling and thinking about that. That would be great to be able to coach a team with your former players. I'm not going to ever close the door on something like that for the future. But right now, there's so many things that are pressing for what we have to do for this program and this current team. It'd be foolish to say that's going to be in the near future, but no, that's something that I think would be really fun down the road, is to put a team together and coach guys that you coached in college and had some success with.
So you mentioned your current team. Obviously that's the big dinner plate right now of things to attend to. I played Cincinnati when I was in school. I know that every year you got dudes. You got guys that play hard on defense, but you got guys that can go get buckets. And the TBT has the Elam ending, which I know you're very aware of, where guys just have to go get buckets, but also get stops. I'm curious, on your current team right now, who's a guy that you would have to have in the Elam ending?
I think David DeJulius would be great in the Elam ending, because he can, create his own shot. He can create space really well to get a shot when there's, no advantage there from the defense. And so I think that's like really, and I've watched, the Elam endings made the tournament or the TBT, so exciting to watch. I love that twist to how you try to differentiate yourselves. But you got to have a guy that can create his own shot. And on our team right now, David DeJulius does that at a really high rate.
All right, so this is probably the most important question you'll be asked all summer, okay, no matter what it's about. So last year we had Wichita State's head coach on the show, and he told us if their TBT team made it to Dayton, he would take off his shirt, paint his chest, and sit in the crowd in Dayton. He didn't go to Dayton, but he sent us a picture of him in the Wichita Arena, shirtless, painted chest with popcorn. So the question to you is, if Nasty Nati gets to the Final Four, Elite Eight in Dayton, what are you going to do?
Well, I'll tell you what, if I'm going to take my shirt off and put that on national television, I need to start getting in better shape. So maybe I need to start working out. But no, I don't know if I had, is Isaac said that, huh? I don't know if I have any statement off the top of my head here, but I can tell you this. I'll be really supportive. These are our former guys are playing, and they'll be playing with crazy pride, right? Like, I think that's one thing that everybody knows. If you've ever paid any attention to Cincinnati basketball, there's a crazy pride in the CPAL, and even though you can't use the marks, like, it's a bunch of guys that are representing that on the court. So they'll play with some crazy edge. I'll be there. If I can be there, I'll be there. Obviously, there's going to be some recruiting things going on that time of year, but we get that far. I'll be supporting them here when they're in Cincinnati, and I'll be there. If I'm going to do anything crazy, I don't know. Maybe if they win it, I'll do something wild and crazy. But the main thing is I'll just be there to support our guys.
I got one for you. If they're there and you go to a game in Dayton, you wear a Nasty Nati jersey. So you don't have to go full shirt off, but you got the jersey sleeveless underneath.
Guys, I'll start getting in the weight room now and work on that summer body, right? Like
there you go.
No, that you can count on me putting a jersey on. So
there you go.
Don't worry about that. I'll probably put on a Cumberland jersey or something like that. Like looking at the squad. He's probably the Elam ending guy.
Yeah,
if you watched his career closely.
Coach, I got one more question before we let you go. We know this day and age of college hoops revolves around the transfer portal for good or for bad. If me and Andrew were in the transfer portal and we're a duo, we're brothers, we're a package deal, what is your pitch to have us join Cincinnati?
Guys, I want to see some tape first. Let's see if you guys can. First of all, if you want to play at Cincinnati, you got to be able to defend somebody. Like, can you guys guard anybody? Like,
no. I can make I can make an open three. That's about it.
I'll tell you this, Joey has game tape. I have Scotch tape. So that's all.
Well, fellas, if you guys can't guard anybody, I'm gonna make my pitches somewhere else. Stay away from you guys. No, we think we got something going on. Like we think we're at a special place with a special history and special tradition, and this is one of the elite basketball programs and basketball destinations in all of college basketball. Like it speaks for itself. You don't have to sell it. There's so few places that are basketball places, right? As you really look around college basketball, and UC's one of those. So that sells itself. So we're looking for guys that want to buy into the identity of what it means to be a Bearcat, and want to go win and compete to go to Final Fours and national championships. And we do give pitches, but we want people that want to be here too. So we want to know you guys really want to be here, and then I want to know you guys can really defend, because I'm worried about that looking at you on the screen.
See, Coach, when I was in school, I did a lot of scout team defense where I was allowed to foul. So that's the only way I could really stop guys is when give them a couple scratches, make them bleed a little bit, then they'd stop going as hard, and that's the only way I could do it.
Well, from one scout team player to another, because I did that for my first 2 years of college, I did a lot of fouling too, and then I got to play a little bit, and I did a lot of fouling too, and the rest, thank goodness, gave me a break. So I get it. Yeah,
it was always a fun conversation.
Look at this reach. They reach outside of the Zoom walls. You're not getting anything. Look at this.
Yeah, me too, guys. And we don't recruit anybody with my dimensions. That's kind of like a rule in recruiting. But
well, Coach, we appreciate it, man. This has been a blast. We look forward to seeing you at least in Cincinnati, if not in Dayton too.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing you guys. And again, it's neat to have a bunch of former Bearcats being a part of this. It's only right. So appreciate you guys, putting some energy behind it.
Absolutely. Wes Miller, current Cincinnati head coach, future UNCG/Cincinnati TBT coach.
There you go. All right, boys.
Thanks.
Take care, Coach.
Later, guys.
Clocking out early, that's the dish I don't like. Been getting paid since I was riding on the bike. Hit the pedal with the 8th, hopping on the 9th flight. I've been chilling out of sight, I'll be at the bar tonight. Told the bartender, go and take my card to swipe. You try the same thing, but your card get declined. White rappers nowadays, no, we're not too hard to find. I'm so dapper with my ways, I'm gonna linger in your mind. Always told me good things will come to those who are patient, but I've been way too patient, writing bars in my basement. I'm anxious in the real world, it's time for me to say this. The basics, the talent in my mind, I can't waste it. My life is too safe, it's my time for risk taking. I'm baking my mind, every day is the same ish. Lazy, my grind needs to get a new facelift. Coming from the underground and busting through the pavement. Right